Hey everybody, this is Rykard here again, and welcome to another Pokemon Sun and Moon Movesets video. Today's video is going to be all about Palossand, so let's get started by taking a look at this Pokemon's typing, abilities, and stats. So to start things off, Palossand is a Ghost Ground type Pokemon that has access to two abilities, the first of which being a unique signature ability introduced into Pokemon Sun and Moon known as Water Compaction, which increases this Pokemon's physical defense by 2 stages whenever it gets attacked by a water type move. As for its last ability and its hidden ability though, it is known as Sand Veil, which increases this Pokemon's evasiveness while a sandstorm is in effect on the battlefield. As for its stats though, this Pokemon possesses base 85 HP, 110 physical defense, and 75 special defense, effectively allowing this Pokemon to take physical and special hits very well. It also has access to a signature recovery move, which makes doing this a little bit easier. But for its attacking stats, it has base 75 physical attack, which in and of itself is pretty respectable, but its special attack being base 100 is what you're going to be going with more often than not. And lastly, this Pokemon is a fairly slow Pokemon having only base 35 speed, so do keep in mind that it's going to be a little bit on the slower end of things, and plenty of things are going to end up outspeeding it unless you invest a little bit into its speed stat. But with that, let's take a look at the first moveset that I have for you in this video. So for this first moveset, we're going to begin by giving this Pokemon a modest nature to increase its special attack but lower its physical attack, and then going with the Water Compaction ability. As for the EVs, we're going to put 252 into its HP to max that out, 252 into its special attack to max that out as well, and then put the remainder 4 EVs to do its speed. As for its item, we're either going to go with Choice Specs to allow this Pokemon to have a very highly increased special attack stat, a Life Orb to increase the damage of all of our attacks at the cost of losing 10% of our health every time we damage opponent, but being able to use our moves a little bit more freely than on the Choice set, an Expert Belt to boost the damage of super effective moves, an Assault Vest to boost our special defense, or Leftovers to allow this Pokemon to recover some HP at the end of every turn. For the moves though, the first two that we're going to be going with on this set are going to be our main Stab Ghost and Stab Ground type moves in the form of Shadow Ball and Earth Power. In and of itself, these two moves actually give you a really good dual coverage in terms of what you can hit for neutral or super effective damage, but we have 2 other move slots to potentially augment this Pokemon's offensive capabilities. So for the third move slot, we're going to be making use of Giga Drain as a way to give this Pokemon a decent grass type move to make use of that'll also be recovering this Pokemon's health, thus potentially giving it some more sustain on the battlefield and able to last a little bit longer while also having a super effective move to use against the water type Pokemon that can hit this Pokemon super effectively. But for its last move slot, we can either run Ancient Power as another coverage option or Sludge Bomb for the same reason, or potentially run Shore Up, which is this Pokemon's signature healing move that increases its HP by 50% like most other healing moves, but actually increases it by more if this Pokemon is under the effects of a sandstorm, very similarly to how Synthesis will increase your HP more so when Sun is up on the battlefield. But all 3 of these options are really great ways to make use of this Pokemon's either healing properties through Shore Up or additional type coverage options through Ancient Power or Sludge Bomb. As for this next moveset, we're going to be running a boosting Palossand. So we're going to start this one off by giving it a Timid nature to boost its speed but lower its physical attack, and then going with the Water Compaction ability. As for the EVs, we're going to max out its special attack and its speed stat with 252 EVs into both of those, and put the remainder 4 EVs into its special defense. As to the item, this time we're going to go with a Life Orb, an Expert Belt, or Leftovers. For the moves though on this set, the first one that we're going to be making use of is going to be Rock Polish, as a way to allow this Pokemon to increase its speed stat by 2 stages, and thus allowing it to outspeed a ton of things that it normally wouldn't be able to without these boosts. Along with this, we're going to be making use of Shadow Ball and Earth Power again as your main Stab Ghost and Ground type moves, which again to mention in and of themselves is fantastic coverage. But in order to then augment the abilities of this set, we're going to potentially run Giga Drain or Ancient Power like before as a decent coverage option, or even slap on Destiny Bond in this last move slot as well to make use of your increased speed stat so that you can take down your opponent when this Pokemon also goes down as a nice little way to sacrifice itself for the cost of taking down another Pokemon on your opponent's team. But all 3 of these options, again, give it some unique properties, allowing it to hit different things super effectively, but all in all, Shadow Ball and Earth Power are fantastic in and of themselves, and with a Rock Polish under this thing's belt, it's going to be doing a lot of damage. As to this next moveset, we're going to be running Palossand a little bit defensively. So we're going to start this one off by giving it a bold nature to increase its physical defense but lower its physical attack, or a calm nature to increase its special defense but lower its physical attack, and going with the water compaction ability. As to the EVs, this time we're going to put 252 into its HP to max that out, and then either 252 EVs into its physical defense or its special defense, depending on if you want to run this Pokemon as a more physically defensive or more specially defensive wall, and then putting the remainder 4 EVs into its speed stat. As to the item, on this moveset, we're either going to make use of leftovers to allow this Pokemon to recover HP at the end of every turn, or a Rocky Helmet as a way to allow this Pokemon to damage any Pokemon that hit it with a contact move. For the moves though, the first one that we're going to make use of on this set is going to be Shadow Ball, again along with Earth Power to be your main stab, ghost, and ground type moves. But for your third option, either running Giga Drain as a way to not only give you some extra recovery on the set, which is very useful for any type of defensive Pokemon, but also just to give you some added type coverage. However, in the third move slot, Hypnosis is also another viable option to potentially allow this Pokemon the opportunity to put something to sleep and cripple it for a long period of time until it wakes up. As for the last move though, we're again going to go with this Pokemon's signature recovery move in the form of Shore Up as a way to increase our HP every single time we go for it, and thus allow this Pokemon to last for a long time and work as a very effective physical or special wall. Finally, for this last moveset, because as mentioned before, this Pokemon has great stab coverage, we're going to be running a Rest Talking set for Palossand, and this can be done two ways, either a more defensive way or a more offensive way. The defensive way, which is what you're seeing on the screen right now, includes giving it either a bold or calm nature like before, and the same EV spread as before as well, with the 252 HP EVs, 252 physical defense or 252 special defense EVs, and then putting the remainder 4 EVs into its speed stat with the item choices of, again, leftovers and a Rocky Helmet. Rocky Helmet is also particularly notable on this set because unlike with Shore Up, where we're only recovering 50% of our HP, with Rest, we're recovering all of it and also getting rid of any negative statuses, so it does allow Rocky Helmet to be a little bit more effective since we're going to be keeping our health up to a greater range more often. But again, as mentioned before, for the moves, Shadow Ball and Earth Power are just so good in combination with one another, and then combining that with Rest and Sleep Talk allow this Pokemon for a more defensive way of lasting for a long time and damaging things in the process. As mentioned before though, there is a more offensive way to run the same exact moveset, which is basically just going to take all these defense EVs and put them into its attack. So we're going to start off by giving this moveset a modest nature to increase your special attack but lower your physical attack, and then running an EV spread of 252 HP EVs, 252 special attack EVs, and then putting the remainder 4 EVs into its speed. Either way you run this though, this is a very effective way to make use of this Pokemon's great stabs and allow it to last for a long time in battle. But anyways everybody, that is it for this video. So I hope you all enjoyed all these movesets for Palossand. It's definitely one of the more unique Pokemon introduced in this generation, just because of its design, but also because it gets that same typing that we know Golurk to have. But with that, as I said, that is it for this video everybody. So as always, take care, goodbye, and I will see you all next time.